Ah, Debbie, thank you so much for hosting. We'll get the sponsors out of the way right away. We'll go with it's debspets.com. That's DEBSPETS.com, where we've discovered wonderful nutrients for not only pets but for humans through the Coriolis versicolor mushrooms. Go to debspets.com. Anthony, give us a quick breakdown of what you do for your nonprofit.
Right now, not a whole lot. I'm still working on getting some things worked out through the VA. My nonprofit is going to be called Gilead Ranch. It's going to be an equine assisted therapy ranch. That we are working on getting business licenses and 501c3 approval and all that other good stuff.
Perfect. Maria, welcome to the show. First time
Thank you.
guest.
Thank you.
Super glad to. It's so funny how we actually came across each other because, like, people were calling me, "Hey, are you a mobile vet?" I'm like, "No." So I kept calling the number. I was like, "All right, let me talk to your manager. Let's get her on the show." So here you are. Tell us about
Yeah,
your pet rescue.
that was funny. So, I am with Front Range German Shepherd Rescue. We're a rescue organization in Colorado, primarily the Denver Front Range area, and we rescue and rehome German Shepherds.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So do they eat dachshunds for like snacks or what?
Do what?
Do they eat dachshunds for snacks?
I mean, maybe it's kind of a Meals on Wheels thing at times. So,
I have pictures of my dachshund in a wheelchair. Okay, so that is hilarious.
yeah, no, we definitely have some that like no small dogs or cats, but then we have others that live in a house full of like small animals and cats and they are like not in charge at all. The shepherds aren't. Like my guy right here, this is Apollo. He um
Yeah.
he definitely would be that dog that's not in charge. All he cares about is playing ball.
Nice. No,
So
David,
cool.
they don't eat dachshunds. They eat chihuahuas because todos quiero Taco Bell. So
I
Hey,
guess the
Ginger,
chihuahuas
did
are
you hear
feisty
that?
sometimes.
Did you hear that?
what's that,
Because
Maria?
I'm dog sitting a chihuahua right now.
Yeah, my mom's on two chihuahuas. They're interesting animals.
That is the
Could be
proper
feisty.
pronunciation, by the way.
What chihuahua?
Chihuahua. All right, Maria. All right, so we got a little bit of jokes out of the way. So tell us, so are you located in Denver?
So we don't have a facility. We do
Okay.
rely on foster homes. We also use boarding facilities as kind of a stepping stone for the dogs. If we have a dog and we don't have a foster home open and we have space in a boarding kennel, it at least keeps them alive. And then we're able to hopefully move them on to either a foster home or we have a couple daycares that work with us as well that house our dogs. So, which is really nice. But we
That's,
definitely need more foster homes. Always a
yeah,
need. So yeah. But the
that's awesome.
organization has been around. If I remember correctly, I think in 2027 it'll be 20 years that the organization has been around. So we
Oh,
were the
wow.
first German Shepherd rescue in Colorado.
Well,
Well, plug your info where people can contact you first of all, because we'll finish with that at the end too.
Okay.
But let's get it in everybody's ears where they can contact your company.
So we actually have a web page. It's frgsr.org. We have a Facebook page that's just Front Range German Shepherd Rescue. And then we also have an Instagram, which is Front Range German Shepherd Rescue.
Perfect. Anthony, you had something you were going to say?
I just told her I'd foster a dog for her if she flies to Arizona.
I
I
mean,
was going to
we do
take my
get dogs from
donkey to
out of
Arizona.
state. So
Cool. So being not having an actual storefront where people can like walk in and like, hey, I like that dog and all that stuff. So how do you network out? That's what I'm really curious about. How
So
you guys
we
network out?
actually, yeah, we have once a month. It's typically the first Saturday, just kind of depending on if any holidays fall at that time. We have what's called a meet and greet, and we typically do those in Castle Rock up at the Chuck and Don's pet store. So we
Okay.
have some of our adoptable dogs. We try to get as many as we can there. Our adoptable dogs, or dogs available for adoption, and then we invite approved applicants, and then also people who just see the events on our Facebook, on our Instagram, are more than welcome to come in, meet some of the dogs, get to see them in person. Because we have them up on our webpage, but it's so much nicer when you can actually meet them and kind of get to see their personalities a little bit being
Yeah.
there. So we do those. We are trying to get some more events kind of in the Denver central area. And then I'd also like to get some stuff up in like the northern Colorado area to start give our dogs and our rescue a little more
Okay.
exposure. So yeah, so that's we just try to do that monthly though, our
Yeah,
meet
that's
and
wonderful.
greets. Yeah. And then our fosters are really good about getting
Oh,
the
it's
dogs
wonderful. Well,
out.
we that's perfect. We gotta get together and like figure out how to advertise for that for sure. I mean, we don't have a huge outreach, particularly on this channel, but our social media networks are pretty big,
Mm-hmm.
and so that would be really good to expand that. I think.
Yeah.
Um, when you do these live events, is it like you have the dogs in a kennel?
Mm-mm.
You just have them out on a leash? I mean,
They're out on a leash. So yeah, so we have our volunteers pick dogs up from if their fosters can't take them, then we have other fosters. They can sometimes just go and pick them up from their foster home so they get that exposure as well. But yeah, they're just kind of hanging out. There's like a big parking lot. In the summer, we've got the canopies and cooling pads and all that stuff out to make sure the dogs are okay and don't get too hot. But yeah, people can come out and meet them and pet them and give them treats and say hi.
that's wonderful. Anthony, questions?
No, I should do that in my dating life. Just go show up in a parking lot, let people meet me and pet me and give me treats, and maybe then I could, meet somebody substantial. I don't know.
I mean, in
You were
today's world, good luck.
In Arizona,
Right?
though, I'm not sure how well that would work. I'd probably be in some danger. Uh,
you were
no,
so
so
not
I
allowed
just
to talk while I'm taking a drink ever again.
David, I did amateur stand-up comedy for a while, buddy. So you're going to be choking all show long. How long did you start the organization? How did you, if
No,
not, how did you come in contact with the organization? How long have you been associated with them? And
I've
then
been
last
with.
question, why
Mhm.
just German Shepherds?
So, okay, so I've been with the organization. It's been, I think, almost 15 years. I am not the founder. The founder actually started the organization in her home. So she had her house started, and it was actually, I think it was called German Shepherd Rescue of Douglas County because that's where I adopted my last German
Hmm.
Shepherd from her. So yeah, so I've been with the organization about 15 years. I have always loved German Shepherds. I grew up with a German Shepherd. To me, they're like one of the most versatile breeds. You have a protector, you have a family
Hmm.
dog, you kind of have a little bit of everything in one. And I think that, you get so many people that see the side of them, the working side, when they're working for police or military, they don't get to see kind of the goofy side. They're actually a very sensitive
Hmm.
breed. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're super smart. They need a leader for sure because if you give them the chance to take over, they will. Um, so highly, highly intelligent breed, but I love that about them.
Yeah, and a
So,
lot of law enforcement agencies and military are also not only are they still going with shepherds, I think they're also doing Belgian Malinois as well now.
yeah.
They're getting into that field as well. I know that our army unit had some Belgian Malinois
Hmm.
for a while.
Yeah. And
They were
we
explosive ordnance sniffing dogs, and we had those for a little bit. But
And we've actually started taking a lot more Malinois because there's also a higher need for those dogs because so many people, once again, they see them in a movie, they see them out working and think, oh, that dog's really cool. I'm like, it is a really cool dog, but you got to put the time in.
yeah,
You got to put that time in with them because they're just way too smart and they have way too much energy to burn and they
right.
need to be doing something. And especially a lot of the mental stimulation. I think people always think like physical activity with these dogs. And I mean, that is Apollo behind me, my shepherd. He's a working line shepherd. So he's got that kind of that drive, that high drive. Um, One of the biggest mistakes made when I first was working with him is just trying to like walk him even more because I'm like, oh my God, he can go like, we're going 3 miles. We need to go 5. We got to keep doing that. And I talked to a trainer and she said, if you go 5 miles, he's going to go 10. You
Mm,
really need to work him mentally and get that, tire him out mentally and get that mental
yeah.
stimulation. So I started doing like obedience on our walks and a lot more things like that. And it made a huge difference.
Yeah, as a kid and teenager, I like shepherds as well. I still kind of
Mm-hmm.
like them to this day. They haven't really worked out as far as the places I've lived since I've been in Arizona to have one. But I remember we finally got one, and there was no lack of Type A personalities in my household. So we got one. Talking about you need that strong leadership thing with shepherds. But this thing had some bad separation anxiety, and we had these big old French doors, and we had these like little 4 inch by 4 inch rectangle or square windows. That dog knocked out a panel and jumped right through one of those windows and took off running down the road. Man, it was
Yeah.
What the heck?
yeah, it was.
It's crazy. I mean, they definitely need that. They need that mental stimulation.
Yeah.
And then I think there was one more question, but I forgot. So, how long? Why German Shepherds? I feel like I'm missing. I
And
was.
then I asked you if you started the organization. You
Oh,
said no.
okay, no. Yeah.
Um, now, are you this only person with the organization right now? How
No.
large is the organization?
So we're growing. I don't know exactly numbers wise, but there's the founder of the rescue. I am our foster coordinator. So basically when a dog comes into rescue, when we take that our intake person takes them in, I find a place for that dog to go. So I find like the correct foster home or if they have to go to boarding for a little bit, I'll do that. But so I place the dogs and then we have somebody who heads kind of our adoption committee or our adoption group and then our secretary and treasurer. We're all the board members, and then we have amazing fosters. I mean, our volunteers, I can't say enough good things about them.
Hmm.
They're
That's
absolutely incredible.
wonderful. I was just going to ask. I mean, you keep talking about the people that you put them in foster or boarding and all that. What are some of the other ones that if you want to give them a shout out, now's the time. Tell them how they help you out.
How the volunteers do?
Yeah, the volunteers, the shelters, the
Yeah.
boarding.
So our fosters, I mean, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without our volunteers. There's no way we'd be able to exist without them. Especially our foster homes because, they're the ones that are housing the dogs and taking care of them until they get to that place where they find their forever home. This room's getting kind of dark. Until they find their forever home. So fosters are definitely needed. Um, and then we have, volunteers that help out with our meet and greets. We have volunteers that will sometimes walk dogs, and go play with the dogs that are in boarding facilities. Um, we're getting some more volunteer help with like fundraising and that sort of thing, which is I think going to be great. So yeah.
That's
And then
awesome.
I don't disclose the names of the daycares just because we never want anyone to show up
Right. Yeah. No, you.
randomly, but without
Gotcha.
them too, like we love having them. The kids that work at the daycares are amazing with our dogs. They absolutely love them. Um, and actually some of the kids have adopted dogs that they've taken in to watch. So
Hmm.
Nice. Yeah.
yeah,
Mom, Dad, look at this dog. We're taking it home. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. It's kind of hard not to. I mean, I foster puppies. I like to take the puppies because my German Shepherd is really patient and really good with them, but then I can also take them to work with me. So they get super socialized, which is nice. But
Yep,
yeah,
that's
so that's who
wonderful.
I foster are the little guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my favorite thing about having my dog is he got to go to work with me for like the last 6 or 7 years of his life, and
Mhm.
it was just 24/7 dog, 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 dog. And
Yeah,
it's such a blessing because everybody loved him, and he got super socialized, and that's super important. So
it is.
yeah, I mean, expand on that. Let's talk about how what age range are you socializing the dogs with the kids?
I mean, ideally, you want to start socializing them as puppies, especially shepherds.
Mhm.
They definitely they need that. Um, and I mean, if I had a puppy, that's where I would start. Is once they're up to date on all their vaccines and stuff, I would start getting them out to like dog friendly places, socializing them that way. Having people give them treats. And Even adults, like we try to take, our guys out and work with them and get them socialized as well. And that's what's great about the fosters is, they're able to do that. But it's huge. I mean, that's really important with the German Shepherds. And I think that's unfortunately why a lot of the dogs that we get end up in the rescue is because people, they don't work with them the way they need to. They think that like all of a sudden this dog grew and it, needs all this attention. I'm like, well, yeah, it's for one, it's a shepherd, it's a dog. They all need that.
Yeah. You had mentioned earlier that sometimes you do get calls from out of state individuals. In that
Mhm.
situation, do you all know of any German Shepherd rescues out of state? Has your organization thought about expanding out of state? What do you guys do in that situation?
So we actually have what we call our rescue partners.
Okay.
So we work with a shelter slash rescue. We work with out of Texas, New Mexico. We work really close with them and they're wonderful. They're great about doing dog tests with our dogs. So they can give us an idea of what that dog's personality is before we get them so that I can put them in the right foster home. We also work with out of state organizations in Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. We've taken from Missouri, so kind of all over. And Colorado is such a dog friendly state. Like we do have dogs here in need as well, but I think some of those, those states, it's just there's a bigger need.
Yeah, I can vouch for dog friendly in Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, we still get them here. We definitely get, we work with local shelters here as well. And then we also will take owner surrenders. So for people that are, for whatever reason needing to surrender their dog, we work with them as well. And it really just depends on how much space we have. I mean, sometimes we have to say no because we don't have a place for a dog to go.
Right. Yeah.
But our goal is someday to have a facility so we can help more dogs.
Sure.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be great. So you don't know of anywhere outside of Colorado, outside of where you guys are, that does exclusively German Shepherds like that?
There's actually there is a German Shepherd rescue, another German Shepherd rescue here in Colorado. They're called Snow Capped and they take mostly white shepherds, but they also take others as well. There was another German Shepherd rescue, but she just recently had to stop taking shepherds and she's kind of moved on to some smaller dogs. And I think I want to say we're the only ones now in terms of shepherds. And then there are some all breed rescues here as
Right.
well. So they'll
Yeah.
kind of take a little bit of everything, but we're breed specific. We will take shepherd mixes. The hardest thing for us, if we take a German Shepherd mix that doesn't look like a German Shepherd, it's really hard for us to get them adopted because people are coming to to our rescue specifically for a shepherd.
Right.
So but we will take mixes, especially if they have a shepherd look to them.
Now, are the Malinois in the same family as the Shepherd?
I believe so. I mean, I like to call them German Shepherds on crack. They're they're just a little more intense. But I mean, it's funny because I hear a lot of people I kind of make fun. I have some friends that have Malinois, and the one thing that we'll hear sometimes like, "Oh, is that a skinny German Shepherd?" It's like, no, it's not a skinny German Shepherd. It's a Belgian Malinois, totally
Okay.
different breed. So I don't know what the relation is though, if there is a close. I mean, I don't know.
Well, check the
But
Google machine.
but they are awesome dogs. I do like
Yeah.
Malinois.
While you're checking the Google machine, I have a silly question because I know that a lot of German Shepherds have like hip issues and stuff like that. Do you work with a vet if you have somebody that can't take care of the dog anymore, or if they get injured? Do you have a company that you work with?
We work with a handful of veterinarians, and we work with some will give us discounts since we're a rescue organization. We
Mm,
have taken on some medical stuff. Like we just have a dog recently that just had a procedure done on his heart
Hmm.
because he had a grade 4 heart murmur
mm,
and the shelter wasn't able to help him. So we ended up taking him and we got him taken care of. So he just had his surgery a couple days ago and he's doing really well. We've had like from Texas, some of the dogs that come in from there are heartworm positive. So we do the treatment for them to get rid of the heartworms.
okay.
So yeah, so we like to do what we can to help those dogs.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I've had family members that have German Shepherds, and they didn't have super long lives, probably between 8 and 10, and they always had hip problems and stuff like that. And I was like, well, why is that breed susceptible to it? Well, then I got a dachshund, and dachshunds are prone to back injuries. Turns out,
Hmm. Yeah.
every
Yeah.
every breed has their I guess you'd say track record of very specific injuries that they can sustain just by walking down the street.
Hmm.
And so, no, it's wonderful that you're taking care of a big breed. My personal favorite is the small breeds, but I love big dogs
Yeah.
because I love
Yeah.
kisses.
I love all dogs. I just definitely shepherds have a special place in my heart.
Yeah,
I mean, I want every dog out there to have a good home because they all deserve
yeah,
it. But yeah, but we haven't really, honestly, we haven't had a lot of dogs that we've had to take care of in terms of hip issues. I mean, it is definitely one of the things that can be there with the shepherds,
yeah.
but those aren't really medical things that we've had to deal with.
That's good.
So, and I mean, my guy is 11 and a half. And I
Mm.
mean, he's like, I just posted a video yesterday of him like jumping up for his ball. And a friend commented, she's like, I cannot believe that dog is 11 and a half. So I think also
Yeah.
just the care that you give them is really,
Yeah.
a big part of that stuff.
Yeah, 11 and a half is good for a working dog, for a working
Hmm.
Mhm.
dog.
Yeah.
It's really good.
What'd you dig up there, brother?
They are akin to shepherds. It says the breed, specifically the Belgian Malinois, is descends from common type of shepherd dog found throughout Western Europe that includes modern breeds such as the Boulevarde, whatever, Dutch Shepherd and German Shepherd.
Okay. That makes sense. I thought they were, but I wasn't 100% sure. And we've had some Dutch Shepherds as well, which I feel like to me, they're kind of in between the German Shepherd and the Malinois.
Yeah, the Dutch are a little more mellow people than the Germans, so that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. They're kind of.
People.
I didn't catch that at first.
You know what they say? I mean, the dog takes on the personality of its owner, right? I mean,
Don't get me started on that, bro.
and yes, my dog is boisterous and loud, so it's true. It's true.
His dog does stand up comedy too.
Oh no, what she does is not funny. Trust me.
It would make some of us smile.
What's that?
It would make some of us smile.
Yeah.
And be like, haha, you have to deal with that.
No, she recently has been getting me up like 3 times a night. It's so weird because if I'm gone there in the day and I'm gone for 4 or 5 consecutive hours, she's fine, no mess in the house. She's totally good. But try to sleep for 4 or 5 straight hours and she's waking you up like 3 times, like take me out, take me out, take me out. And my bed frame is metal, so she knows if she scratches on it, it'll wake me up. The noise will wake me up. So she wakes me up, and then she has me take her out. And then while I'm getting my t-shirt off and taking my shoes off, she runs up and jumps in the bed in my spot.
It's
Yeah, she's not so funny anymore.
funny to me.
Yeah, it is.
They develop some interesting quirks at times.
Yeah, yeah.
Even the dog that I'm currently uh, sitting for, she's I think a pug dachshund chihuahua mix, and her owner has some unfortunate turn of events. He used to be my roommate, but he's been in and out of the hospital and stuff, so I'm taking care of his dog. But she is so funny. She used to be this like giant sausage, like fat dog, and I started taking her on walks every day and cutting back her diet and feeding her healthy. And she's just like a tiny little puppy again. I'm like, this is so awesome. It's working. So then, I mean, that's another thing. So speaking on pet health, what I'm going
Hmm.
to say, I'm just going to go back to debspets.com. DEBSPTS.com. You can go there. You can get fresh stock food. You can get mushroom supplements for dogs, humans, the whole 9 yards. They all help boost immunity and they just make you a healthier person. And I can't stress enough how health in this day and age with the poison in our food and all the chemicals and all that stuff, you don't have to read the labels on this stuff. Let's just put it that way. It's like two ingredients per.
I've heard good things about mushrooms for dogs.
You cut
Hung
out
up
there,
on my
David.
sister. Yeah, I know. It's my sister called. I just hung up on her. But I mean, this is a great opportunity to tell a quick joke because I've been wanting to say this joke all night. What kind of car does a dog drive?
I don't know.
A Ferrari.
I was working it. I was getting through there. I was getting
I
through.
know. We don't have to get sidetracked, but it's just been staring me in the face all night. And I'm like, I have to say this.
I'm staring you in the face all night. Yeah. No, I mean, I have a friend of mine down here. She does foster. We actually had an episode with her on, and she fosters dogs for the local clinic down here, or the
Hmm.
local shelter down here, excuse me. But they're not, they're a public shelter, so they're not one specific breed.
Yeah.
And we had a guy over on the east side of town that had a rescue for a while for bird dogs. He was called Bird Dog Kennel, and that's all he did. But as far as like specific rescues go, that was the only one I knew of in town. I mean, there might be more. I've never looked into it really all that
Hmm.
hard, to be honest, but that might be the only ones I know.
I do think it's become more common because I think so many of these breeds, there's been more of a need for it. Um, with the specific breeds. Because I have a friend that does golden retriever rescue,
Right.
but most of those guys are like, I believe most of them are like puppy mill dogs.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how they end up
Well,
kind of in that
right.
situation. I don't
I
know their
think
percentages. Like I don't know what their percentages are because like with us, I think ours would probably be. I'd have to talk to our intake person, but I would say maybe like 85% of ours, 85 to 90% is shelter, and then that other percent is owner surrenders.
Yeah, and it's similar. Like looking for somewhere to have a ranch, and I'm not going to have it in Arizona. I'm only here because of my kids. As soon as my son graduates, and he's got just over 8 years, but who's counting? Anyway, so as soon as he graduates, I'm out of here, and looking out, either Tennessee, Montana, some one of these type of areas is really
Hmm.
horse friendly. But what I've discovered is probably similarly to most any other animal that you would have as a pet or as something that you would have around to use with the public. People got into hobby ranching. So for example, they would say, "Oh man, I want to have a horse or two or three just for the family to have as a pet." So they go out and they buy whatever. They buy 50, 60 acres and they set up some stables and a tack room and they get all this stuff set up. And then they don't realize the cost involved and the care and the maintenance involved.
Mhm.
And if you're going to have the public interact with them, the different types of licensing and insurances
Hmm.
are involved. And so next thing you know, there's literally just equine ranches all across this country that are sitting there, and you can get them for dollars for pennies on the dollar because they've just been abandoned and foreclosed or just abandoned altogether. And so people are doing that. And I would imagine it's pretty similar with dogs. People see a breed in a movie or they hear about a breed, like when the Dalmatians movies came out with Disney,
Hmm.
there was an influx in people purchasing Dalmatians. And then they started to realize each breed's got its own health challenges and its own different extra, whatever, different things that it needs, different
Hmm.
levels of care. And so then there was a boatload of Dalmatians going into rescues and Dalmatian rescues popping up all over the place. People thought, oh, we'll just donate them to the fire department. Well, that doesn't work either. And so, you
Right.
know, um, and so that like with horses or any other type of animal, same thing with, for example, a lot of people that wanted to do homesteading. Well, now there's a bunch of areas that's good farmland, but it's just been abandoned because somebody thought, oh, we'll buy here and we'll homestead. And then they realized, I don't have any indoor plumbing, electricity of my own, like all this, any of this other stuff. And it's not for the faint of heart. So I would imagine that dog rescues are pretty similar to that. You see an influx at different times, depending on what's popular in the culture. And then maybe the numbers level out for a while. And then there'll be
Mm-hmm.
flux and then they level out for a while. I
And
would,
I'd say this is probably the worst, like the past couple of years is the worst that I've seen it the entire time I've been with rescue.
mm,
And I don't know if that has to do with like COVID. Everybody adopted dogs because they were
mhm.
home, you know, then they go back to work. And I'm like, you know, we've had some where like, oh, I have to work all day and I feel bad that my dog's alone. I'm like, your dog would rather be home alone than sitting on a cold cement floor in a shelter.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
You know, like it's hard. But yeah, this is probably the worst I've seen it. It's really sad and
Mm,
unfortunate how many dogs are euthanized daily,
Yeah.
all different breeds.
yeah.
Come
Bob
here,
Barker
Pepper.
tried to warn us, but yeah.
Yep.
And
Spay and neuter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about that too, because I had
Yeah.
my dog Peyton, God rest his soul. His mom and dad were my first two dogs, and he was a litter of one and all that stuff. But like right out the gate, I was like, okay, as soon as he's old enough to spay
oh,
and neuter, but they will just get all that done, and we'll just stop. And it was, I think it not only like gave him a good balance to be social, um, but I think um, the chemical balance that came afterwards isn't like humans. Like you can spay and neuter them, and they're still going to be like normal. They're going to be loving. They're going to be more calm, and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I think spay and neutering is a very good thing to do, and it's very important because there could be a super excess of dogs that cats and lizards and everything else that just
Mhm.
don't have a home that's going to be able to care for them or give them the time or give them the love that they need to exist.
Yeah.
you talked about the lizards, and when Geico did their thing, then we saw an influx in the geckos go up, and that was just so now there's gecko rescues everywhere, just
Mm-hmm.
because 15% could save you 15 minutes could save you 15% or more, but the poor geckos, they're not getting saved. So,
I
Nope.
think I need a bigger box.
I
uh,
do wish there could be more restrictions on like backyard breeding.
yeah, yeah, I agree with you there 100% because I've just, one of my ex roommates had accumulated, let's just put it that way, three pit bulls, and then when I moved in with him with my two dachshunds, I was like, I was on watch the whole time. I'm like, that's a snack away from me losing a dog. And none of them were fixed. He's like, oh, they're all going to be show dogs. I'm like, hold up, bro. Show dogs, that's a whole different animal. If you're
yeah,
you're not geared for that, don't do that. Because most people want house pets. Most people want protection. They want lovers. And I think a big part of that is to actually literally spay and neuter your dogs. Because it calms them down. It brings them down a notch. And, it takes a little bit of that testosterone or estrogen or whatever, male or female, out of just it takes some of the aggression away, I guess is what I would say at that
Mm-hmm.
point.
And I
for
forgot
sure.
to mention, I mean, it's been a while, but we have had, I
Coming up
think
here.
it's been like 5 or 6 of our dogs that actually moved on to do some form of police work in the
Oh,
past,
cool.
which
Nice.
was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that
That
is
is
cool.
cool.
That's good for them because the police departments really take care of them, and their human partner a lot of times gets and their families get so
Yeah.
attached to them that when they end up retiring, they just end up adopting the dog.
Yeah, and we had an
And
awesome officer that we used. He's retired. He's been retired for a while, but he was just wonderful to work with because we fully trusted him too. We knew our dogs were going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
David, you had mentioned show dogs before,
Mm.
and I was doing. I mean, good night. It had to be close to 2 decades ago now. Maybe not exactly 2 decades ago, but I was doing private security work in Oklahoma City, and we were inside this hotel, and we were doing a bunch of different stuff. We were happened to be there with an NBA team, but there was a lot of things happening in Oklahoma City, and they were having a dog show at one of the local arenas there. And so I get a call on my because I was the security supervisor of that team, and I get a call coming over my earpiece that somebody has a bear in the lobby of the hotel. So we're supposed to go check it out for our VIPs. I'm like, a bear? And they're like, yeah, we got to go check this thing out and talk to the hotel staff. And there's a bear in the lobby, and we can't bring our VIPs in here. And so I go in and I talk to their security guy. We pull up the CCTV, and sure enough, it looks like there's a bear in the lobby. So I'm like, oh, great. So we go out there and talk to this person. It's not a bear. It was an all black Newfoundland, and they were there for the dog show. That thing's head was probably as big as a black bear's head, man. But that was my
Wow.
first, and I mean, we all saw Peter Pan, but that was my first in-person exposure to a Newfie, and I
They're
liked
big
that.
dogs.
Thought it was a great breed, just from that brief encounter with it. But yeah, it was an all completely black Newfie, and it did look like a bear. It did look like a bear.
They're big dogs. They're big dogs. My cousin Kelly was like, I think I'm gonna get a dachshund. I'm like, okay. And then she sends me a picture. It's a picture of a what do you call this? Badabadies. Um, Great Dane. I was like, that's not a dachshund. Like it is just a puppy. I was like, it looks like it now.
Nope.
So we
He's been
just
there that long.
we just we just had a Easter dinner, and all of the family brings all their dogs out to the ranch for our family get-togethers. This dog is huge,
Yeah,
dude. I
that's
was
like
like, it is not even full grown. I'm like, what the heck? You got? She
putting
said
a
you got a
Great Dane
dachshund.
and a Dachshund mixed up. I mean, that's like a sparrow and an eagle. Like, oh, look at that sparrow. That's a bald eagle, buddy. You know, like
That's an impulse buy. That's what that is.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, my guy gets. I get questions sometimes asking if he's part wolf because he's a long haired. You can see him. Hello, yeah,
Good dogs. Aw.
hey, buddy.
please.
What's his name?
Apollo.
Hi, Apollo. Apollo Creed. Hi, buddy. Do you know Rocky?
But yeah, I'll get
Or-
asked once in a while if he's part wolf. I'm like, no, he's just a long-haired sable shepherd,
Hmm.
Cool. Look at him. Hi,
and
Apollo.
he was a foster fail for me.
He's a handsome boy, huh?
He is. He's
A
pretty good.
foster fail. What's that mean?
I fostered him and then I kept him.
There you go. Yeah.
Plug anybody that she wants to, including herself, businesses,
We're going to
associates, and
wrap
all
it
that
up, but it's
stuff.
still going right now.
And then we'll do some animal jokes, and then we'll close it out.
All right. So once again, our rescue organization is Front Range German Shepherd Rescue. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. No TikTok account yet. Apollo does have a TikTok though.
Oh, he does.
He does.
Oh,
Yeah, he has a
Let me.
TikTok and an Instagram.
What is his TikTok handle?
His, I believe, I'm trying to remember. I think it's like Apollo GSD 09.
Apollo GSD 09.
Yeah, I think that's his TikTok. Yeah, and then his
Oh, there he
Instagram.
is. Look at
Yeah.
that handsome boy. Rescue dog, foster brother, ball obsessed, mama's boy, Swifties. What? You were good up until the Swifties part, you know? I mean, that just,
We love Taylor. We love her.
oh my goodness. Oh,
Actually, your voice sounds like Jason Kelsey.
I do?
Your voice does, yeah.
You know, it's funny because I'm a big time sports guy and I'm getting all of my equipment in slowly. But by the time NFL training camp starts in June, I'm going to have a sports podcast up and running.
Oh,
and I'm going to
nice.
be doing sports. And so I've gotten in contact over the last 2 years with a guy that lives here in Arizona who's a retired Kansas City Chiefs player. He played in the NFL for 9 years.
Wow.
And so I had a couple questions about equipment that I've asked various NFL players over the years, and none of them have answered this question for whatever reason. So I asked this gentleman, the one that's retired from the NFL, and he got in touch with the Kansas City Chiefs equipment manager. So I put on my Facebook page, I said, I spoke with somebody today who spoke with the equipment manager for the Kansas City Chiefs. So basically, my connection knows Mr. Taylor Swift. So basically, um, that's the way that
Oh,
works. But I've been called worse things. I'm not a big Travis Kelce fan. I
I
think
love
the whole
Travis.
blow
Yeah.
up with Andy Reid was a huge red flag, in my opinion. I've worked in law
Yeah.
enforcement for a long time, and I was like,
Mhm.
not the type of person you want to be around. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, I'm not a Chiefs fan because I'm in Colorado. I like my Broncos, but yeah.
whoop whoop, Broncos.
Broncos, yes. Yeah, I was gonna say, David, I saw that you're in like a full hoodie and vest, man. Like, is
Just
it like
like
10
it's
degrees up there
chill
today?
here. It was a nice day, but the wind came up and it took all the heat away. So, like, dude, I'm a native. Like, I dress in layers all the time. So,
Me too. Yeah, you have to. It's crazy.
doesn't make me mad. I'm
We
used
have the
to it. I
exact
like the
opposite
extra weight
problem.
when I go for a walk.
We have the exact opposite problem down here. If you ever wondered what the armpit of hell was like, just come down here. We'll show you.
I got family down there. I know. We used to go there, and dude, it was. I can't believe it. It was like either it was like it was either every spring that we go to Arizona, and then in July, because the fireworks were cooler down in Texas, we'd go to Texas to my uncle that had lakeside property, and I'm like, all right, y'all need to stop bringing me down here. This sucks.
So,
I'm such a Colorado native. It's not even funny. Like, yeah, I can go. I can take a freaking 15-pound backpack into the middle of the woods and survive for like a month.
this isn't the time for it, probably, but let me tell you about my first visit to Mile High Stadium and when we saw what was the old Broncos owner's name? Anyway, we saw his helicopter land on the field while we were at the stadium,
On the field?
standing not that far from
What?
the field, and the original Mile High Stadium. I'll tell you about it sometime, Dave. It was a fun story. So yeah, it's a fun
That
time.
sounds like a good one. That sounds like a whole other talk show.
But hey, now that Walmart owns the Denver Broncos, like if a player doesn't work out,
Ah!
do they get a full
Ah!
refund?
Ah!
Do they get can
Stop
they get
it!
a
You're
change
killing me.
program? Like what is it here? Like, do all their employees get 15% off at the cash register? Like, what's the deal here? Like, I mean,
We get cool pins. That's all.
cool pens.
Cool pins that have hair and a little smiley face on it.
You know,
That's all we get.
the AFC West is tough. You've got Kansas City, you've got Las Vegas, you've got LA, and you've got Walmart. I mean, that whole division.
We all we're missing is Walgreens. Okay,
When you
maybe
line up
Kroger.
against Walmart, I mean, you never know what you're going to get.
Funny. Maria, do you have any jokes you want to tell us?
No, I don't really know that many jokes.
Why not?
I don't know.
All right, Anthony, I'm gonna let you start off with this one. We'll just do a couple and then we'll let her go.
So my
You've been a
Walmart Broncos
wonderful guest. You're so
worse
much
than
fun
always
and you're
sitting up
just
there. Like,
delightful.
Thanks for having us. It'll be
Yeah,
awesome
so
to get
this
our
will be
name out
uploaded
there.
tomorrow at 7 p.m. so you can share it. I'm gonna have all your information attached to the podcast, so people can contact you. You can share it to your social media, all that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's the whole point. We like to have a good conversation. We like to network and all that stuff. So,
hey David, why do dogs stay home?
why do dogs stay home?
Yeah,
All
why
right,
do they stay in the house? Stay home all the time?
you got me.
Because it's a dog eat dog world.
It's a little bit close to home. What do you get a dog for his birthday?
A dog present?
Ah, pupcakes.
Pupcake.
We do get pup cups.
I
Yeah,
know.
my
Like,
my daughter has a cat that she claims had a birthday a couple of weeks ago, and she's wanting to get it a pup cup. And I'm like, it's not called a cat cup; it's called a pup cup. Like we have to, we have to have integrity in some things here. We can't just you stand for something or you fall for everything. Okay,
Right.
it's called a pup cup.
well,
It's
We
not.
do
he's
go. We go
definitely
to Good Times for their paw benders. Apollo loves the paw benders.
paw
We
benders.
need a
Nice.
problem.
Yeah. It's got like a custard. It's like a custard ice cream type stuff. And then
Where do
they
you get it?
drizzle at Good Times.
Oh, we don't have any of those out here.
Yeah, they sell them
Trust me, there's
there.
no good times in Arizona. It's too hot, so we don't do it.
It would melt. Yeah. No, he loves them. They drizzle it with peanut butter and put a little biscuit on top.
Oh man, I
Peanut butter
want that
and a
for the
biscuit?
dog. Where can I get
Sign me up. I didn't
you
know
put like a
anything
Red
came with a
Lobster
peanut
biscuit on
butter and a
top of that
biscuit.
thing, and I'm game, man.
Dude, I'll do crab legs with peanut butter and a biscuit on top. What are you talking about?
So will Jameis Winston, but he stole his anyway. Um,
All right, you're up. You're on deck.
I'm on deck for what?
Next joke.
Oh, I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah, I know. See. That's the difference between two IQs and a one IQ.
Yeah, buddy. There you go.
All right, I'll go. We don't need that air before we get out of here. This is all right. Why do poor dogs chase their tails?
Chase their tails.
Because they're trying to make ends meet.
Ah, all right. I'll give you that one.
Oh, by the way, I have to give my source on this one. This Reader's Digest this week, by the way,
Oh.
so I don't get copyright infringement.
If you're gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat because I did not
Dude,
come
I have
prepared.
to. I have
I
to
did not
cheat.
come
I have,
prepared for pet jokes.
dude, I have no sense of
And
humor.
most of the jokes
Okay.
I have are not appropriate for this podcast. So
Well, yeah, devil fire us tomorrow if you don't don't mess it up, bro. Don't mess it up. Debbie be like, y'all gone. All right. How do dog catchers get paid? By the pound.
ah,
Why do dogs make the best arborists?
arborist.
Yep, arborists.
I don't know.
Because they're experts in bark. Hello.
Ah, hey David,
What?
can a kangaroo leap higher than the Empire State Building?
Oh, dude, dog. Uh, close.
Well, of course it can. The Empire State Building is a structural masterpiece. It can't jump at all.
Trick question. I love those. Why do dogs make the best? Oh wait, I just said that one. What the heck happened to my computer?
Hey, what do you call a cow with no legs?
Ground beef.
Yeah.
uh, what did, why did the dog skip the prom?
Because it didn't have a poodle skirt.
You're close. You're really close. Because he had two left feet.
This got nothing to do with the poodle skirt.
I'll be right back. Poodle skirt was good. You were close on that one.
Oh man, I was close on that one, huh?
Well, I mean, the skirt's close to the feet, so
What has more lives than a cat?
more lives than a cat.
Yeah.
The moon.
No, a frog. It croaks every night.
Oh, dude, dog diaries. Swimming dog. Yeah, I know. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Calm down. my, my adopted dog.
Dog doesn't sound happy with you at all, brother.
No, my roommate just got home, so
Hey, Bubba.
he's freaking out. She's a
Hi.
good dog. With a
All right. Well, that's probably a good place to. Oh, look at that handsome boy. Hi,
oh,
Apollo.
look at that buddy. Look at that buddy. Oh my dog, he's so beautiful. He's so handsome.
He was a good boy.
Maria, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
I'd
guys
love
so
to
much
have
for
you back.
having us. Thank you
And
for
if you
having
have
us.
like anything come up that you want to talk about, you have any fundraisers coming up, any of that stuff, we're gonna be happy to record. We can do it live. We can pre-record like today.
Okay.
The whole 9 yards. Anthony, give us one more round of your goals and your nonprofit and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
So we are Gilead Ranch. We are in the process of getting ourselves up and running. Our theme is bridging the gap between sobriety and addiction. There are a lot of places that will allow you to live in sober living homes, but the key word is sober. And a lot of halfway houses don't have a focus on intensive type of therapies. We will be an equine assisted therapy ranch that focuses on bridging the gap for veterans between sobriety and addiction, and to get them into those sober living situations where they'll actually last. Not only will we work with them on life skills, but they'll also have skills of having worked with animals and uh, anger management and other type of emotional coping skills as well. So it's going to be quite an intensive time. Our focus primarily will be veterans. However, we will partner with other nonprofits as well and work with that. Of course, 22 veterans a day commit suicide. And whether you're a veteran or not, if you're watching this and you need somebody to talk to, I'd rather talk to you at 3 o'clock in the morning than to hear your name on the news a couple hours later. So please reach out to us and let us know what we can do to help you.
Amen to that. All right. Final words for our sponsor, debspets.com. That's DEBSPETS.com. We love you guys. Call us if you need us. Reach out to us. If you find us in the chat, we'll look it up. We check our page, a couple times a week because we're busy with other stuff. But if you need to reach out to us, we'll give you some personal information to check into us. And Maria, thank you so much. God
Thank
bless you
you.
and your work. And Anthony, God bless you. It's always good to have a fun laugh with you and a good talk. But hey, for now, guess what? Tomorrow's my 50th birthday, so
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday.
David. If I was there, brother, I'd be there with you. But I'm not in Denver or Colorado Springs, and I can't come out there in such short notice. But if you want to send a dog here, Maria, I'm more than willing to help you guys out.
Well, if you see Colorado Springs on the news tomorrow, you'll know why.
If I leave now, what time would I get there? Like what? 7 o'clock in the morning, I think. No, it's not that. Is it that far?
Well, you're in Phoenix,
About an 8 hour
so
drive, I
Colorado
think.
Springs. That's about a 16-hour drive, I think, isn't it?
No, from here to just north of Salt Lake City is 9. So you're not quite far as north of Salt Lake City.
Well, but you're going the wrong way.
I know
Maybe not. If you go through New Mexico,
using that by comparison. But
the Earth is flat, bro. Just fly.
now we really got off topic.
All right. God bless everybody out there. I love you all. It's been a very fun evening, and I appreciate you all. I am checking out. Not
Thank
not all the
you.
way out.
Till
Not
next
all the
time.
way out. Just off. Maria, thank you so much for being a wonderful guest.